Flying Serpent Media, and today I'm going to be covering Ben Carson's appearance before the Financial Housing Committee and their continual refusal of American citizens being put first. This lets you know whose side people are actually on. Those who are going hard and fighting for illegal immigrants are not for American citizens. And you have to wonder, who they are paying their allegiance to, because it's obviously not the United States. Now, you remember back in 2012 when John McCain was a presidential hopeful. There was a lot of talk centered around if he could actually run because he was born in the Panama Canal Zone, but he was born to United States citizens. So we are going to take a look at the 14th Amendment and how the view of the left tried to twist it and use it to their advantage, and what it actually states. So right now we're going to go and look at the article that I pulled up with Ben Carson, I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. I am running on low fuel today. I got off at 6:30 this morning, but you guys don't need to hear about all of that. But I'm trying to get this video out for you guys. So we're going to go to the computer, look at this article, and then I'm going to come back and discuss the 14th Amendment. Okay, guys, see you.
Okay, guys, this is the article from cnsnews.com in regards to Ben Carson's so-called unusual and cruel punishment towards immigrant families. But let's look into what they're really arguing. He is saying one thing, that he is following the law, and they are saying that he is committing a despicable act. Let's read this article. HUD Secretary Ben Carson says he has a duty to end housing assistance for those living with illegals. Representative Carolyn Maloney grilled HUD Secretary Dr. Ben Carson on Tuesday about his plan to crack down on illegal immigrants who live in subsidized housing. During the House Financial Services Committee HUD oversight hearing, Maloney complained that by ending subsidies for people living with illegal immigrants, Carson would be responsible for evicting 55,000 children who are U.S. citizens in households with mixed immigration status. Now we're going to touch on U.S. citizens according to the 14th Amendment and how the left looks at it and what the U.S. Constitution actually says. Chairwoman Maxine Waters, aka Mad Max, complained in her opening statement that she was concerned about Carson's recent cruel proposal to terminate housing benefits for families that include individuals with mixed immigration statuses. Of course, existing law prevents federal housing programs from subsidizing individuals with ineligible immigration status. Prorated rental assistance allows mixed immigration status families to remain together while exclusively subsidizing only those family members with eligible status. The Trump administration proposal puts mixed status families at risk of being evicted, separated, and left homeless, she said. The proposed rule, submitted to the Federal Register on May 10, 2019, has a comment period that ends on July 9th. Maloney called Carson's proposal despicable, adding that it is among the most damaging proposals she's ever seen in public policy. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article. Let's go down here and get to the meat of it. Let's see where she's actually talking, because she says a lot here. Yeah, let's go ahead and read her statement. Mr. Secretary, the D in HUD, they're arrogant, does not stand for deportation. Of course, he knows that. I am afraid that a recent proposal of yours will bring nothing but despair to thousands of American families by throwing children out of their homes. Simply put, we cannot create affordable housing for Americans by throwing other Americans out into the street with no place to go. I am very proud to represent Queensbridge Houses, which is the largest public housing complex in the entire country, along many other public housing complexes. So I've been working with public housing tenants since 1981, standing up for tenants' rights, fighting against spending cuts, and exposing and ending corrupt mob contracts. But your plan to create vacancies by making 55,000 American children homeless. They love to focus on American children. These American children did not go out and get these housing. Their illegal immigrant parents was granted this housing. So they're using and exploiting the children to try to make Secretary Ben Carson look bad. I find it despicable. You know that the current laws already prohibit federal housing programs from subsidizing undocumented immigrants. Individuals who are not eligible for housing assistance do not receive subsidies, but they are receiving it. By evicting mixed status households, this is their loophole, you will rip apart families and be throwing children onto the street. And where will the 55,000 children go? Where will they live? What agency will care for their health and education? Is your plan to have ICE put 55,000, here they go, more children on cages on the border? Not in my district and not on my watch. This is a horrible plan. New York City now spends more than $600 million per year to support 8,200 children in foster care and $4.5 billion more every year to tackle homelessness. Have you considered how you would support the newly homeless families and children? That's not the government's problem. They can go back to Mexico. Will they be going to foster care? What's your plan? Carson's response: as far as what we're doing with housing, the law that has been provided through Congress states specifically that the Secretary of HUD may not provide housing assistance to people who are here illegally. It also states specifically that the Secretary has the duty to end assistance if he finds that someone is violating that. So we are following the law. Baloney says, but by law already I agree with you. So what's your argument? You don't provide subsidies to people who are here illegally, but these children were born here in America, and even if their families are illegal, it's a mixed family in terms of legality. We need to discuss this 14th Amendment and who's actually considered a citizen. They love to flip the script when it's for something that will benefit them. We already know that voters have been abandoning the Democratic Party, and they need these votes. They need new voters to take up these vacancies. The children are legal. So remember that children being legal, being born to illegal immigrant families. These are anchor born children, anchor babies. The children are legal. So you could have the situation where the parents are deported and the children, they leave the children here. American citizens. And who is going to take care of these children? She's on that. These children. You know, that's their argument. There are hundreds of thousands of children, as well as elderly and disabled people on the waiting list who are legal American citizens. Baloney. But Mr. Secretary, these children are legal American citizens. They were born in America. They are legal citizens. Maloney, but their parents are not. This is the whole point she failed to acknowledge. These children did not go out and get the housing. Their parents did. They're in this housing and getting this subsidized government funding illegally. Mr. Carson says, as I was saying, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, who are waiting on the list. Do you suggest that we prioritize people who are illegal citizens? You're going to pick one American citizen over another. Again, these children are American citizens. They are legal. And what is your plan to take care of them? Send them back to Mexico with their parents. We don't need to take care of them. I know that sounds harsh and cruel, but the Democrats allowed this to take place, to put these people in that situation. If you read the rule carefully, you will see that it provides a 6-month deferral on request if they have not found another place to live. And that can be renewed 2 times for a total of 18 months, which is plenty of time for Congress to engage in comprehensive immigration reform so that this becomes a moot point, as does the DACA situation and 100 other things. The fact of the matter is, Congress has the responsibility for making the laws that govern this, and they have the ability to change that. And if, in fact, you want to explain to the American citizens who've been on the wait list for several years in your district in New York why we should continue to support families that are not here legally, I would be happy to join you in helping to explain that to them. And that's how I'm going to end it, folks. And I'm going to head back to the studio and end this session.
Okay, guys, so as you can see from the article, this Representative Maloney kept going on and on about these mixed family immigrants and the children being American citizens. But let's actually read what, now I have an article from the Time magazine, how they view the 14th Amendment, which you know all publications, I'm not going to say all, but the majority of publications, known publications, are left-leaning, bought and sold for, just like our corporate-funded media, mainstream media, the lying serpent media, bought and paid for news. This is why you have to go outside of fake news and search for the truth. Okay, so according to the Time magazine, this is what they say. I have a little excerpt from their magazine. It says, let's begin with the text of the citizenship clause. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. While the 15th Amendment explicitly mentions race, the 14th Amendment's text is more capacious, speaking not just of African Americans, but of all persons. This sweeping language grants U.S. citizenship to everyone born here and subject to our laws. The only relevant exception today is for those who owe their allegiance to another sovereign, such as the children of foreign diplomats. Now you see how they word that? The exception is for those, mind you, children whose parents are citizens of another sovereign nations. Another sovereign nation. Children born to parents who are subject to another sovereign nation are an exception to the rule. But what did they use? Foreign diplomats. Now, let's read the actual 14th Amendment. Okay, it says, the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, 1868, Section 1 of this amendment declares that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. The wording of this amendment places national citizenship before state citizenship. In other words, an American is first a citizen of the United States and then a citizen of the state in which he or she lives. Citizens are entitled to the rights granted by both the national government and their own state's government. Now you see nothing in here when it speaks to subject to the jurisdiction thereof as far as foreign diplomats. Now, if you are born to American citizens in the United States, in another foreign country, you are still declared an American citizen. But have you noticed that illegal immigrants that have children that are born here, these anchor babies, that their babies are considered citizens, even though the parents are subject to another country? Isn't that strange how that works? But like I said, the left always use things and interpret the law to their advantage. Because like I stated before, people are leaving the Democratic platform because they're tired of the lies. You know, all the things that they do are being exposed and people are just sick of it. Now, there's some things that take place on the right. This is why I tell people they need to be independent voters, independent thinkers, and sort through all the, minutia of what's going on with these two parties that they present before us, and go for the party that's benefiting you the most. And right now, as for me, as I already stated, the crazy left can do nothing for me. They just went overboard. I mean, with all this Russian hoax and the investigations and their continual refusal to accept the Mueller report and still trying to impeach President Trump when things are going good in this country. People have jobs to choose from now, but they want to take that from us. So you see who they pay their allegiance to, this hidden power behind the scenes that fund them. This is why they go so hard for illegal immigrants, because all of these foreign entities that have paid into their campaigns, they have to put forth those people's agenda, the globalist agenda. And this is why the hate is so real and so, much for Trump, because he is doing the complete opposite of what they want. He's setting back their plans because he is for America first and the American citizens. And this is what I'm going for as a patriot. I want somebody that's going to fight for us, because that's what we did when we joined the military. We put our lives on the line for this country, and we want the commander-in-chief to be out there fighting for us, not somebody who's selling us out to, foreign countries. Go and do your research. We have been getting the short end of the stick for a long time, and it's about time things started to change. And that's how I'm going to end it, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.